What to do on the first date with a woman. Your first impression is everything. Shave, fix that beard, comb, and do not be brave, bathe and get dressed for the occasion. You could think, but I want you to love me for what I am. Yes, of course, you want her to accept you for how you are, but do not abuse. Arranging a bit will not kill you and will give you better results. When you meet someone who catches your attention, inevitably think where to take her, what to talk about, etc. That's why I wrote this entry about what to do on the first date with a woman. In my years of experience, I can say that I have learned some things, and I think it is time to share my wisdom about the female gender. It should be noted that I do not consider myself a Don Juan or anything like that, but I have been lucky and I am currently happy in a relationship. 1. The place is everything. Remember that the first meeting leads to a second outing and the possibility of starting a relationship. Although the cinema seems like a good option, can you really get to know her better? You need to think of a place where you do not have to be silent or there is excessive noise, so I discard a concert or disco. Those would be fine for a fourth or fifth meeting. On the first date there is always a feeling of distrust of the unknown. What will this man be like with whom I am going to go out? She would think. You may have spoken 1,000 times through messages or calls, but going out in person is something entirely different. How about going to a cafe? It may seem cliché, but it is a good environment to talk. I also recommend a quiet bar with good music, but do not even think about drinking too much. Do not opt for shots, short drinks like tequila, pisco, mezcal, etc. Nothing worse than having to take your drunken date back to their house. Food is never a bad option, but please do not take her to a cheap or excessively expensive place. Take her to a restaurant that you like and goes well for the occasion. Tip of a friend: do not ask for pasta with sauce with which you can stain yourself, or food loaded with garlic, onions, or something like barbecue wings that are eaten with your hands. The way you eat says a lot about you, so do not forget your manners. You could also try to do something less conventional like go bowling. Of course, nothing to take her to shoot, to play paintball or something of that style. Aggressive activities or weapons are definitely not part of the first dream date. What is more, could make her nervous, uncomfortable. How daring on your part would be if you propose a first meeting at home. Personally never done it, but I feel it would not be easy for them to accept your proposal. 2. Save your cell phone and show interest. If you are going to have your phone out all the time and reviewing it, better talk to her through WhatsApp. I recommend that you put your cell phone in silence and try to disconnect from the virtual world. What you could do when you arrive is to tell her that both of you will put your cell phones face down on the table and the first person to flip it will pay for coffee. Do your part and show interest in the meeting, but do not monopolize the entire conversation. Do you have siblings? Do you have a pet? Are you studying something? Do you like to travel? These are just some examples of appropriate questions. Have you been unfaithful? How long ago was your last serious relationship? What do you think of open relationships? What do you think of polygamy? Do you consider yourself a conservative person? These are clear examples of inappropriate questions for your first date with a woman. 3. End of the date and kiss or not kiss? When the meeting ends, ask with confidence, and when do we meet again? If she tells you I do not know or we will see, I think something did not go very well. But if the answer is positive, open the calendar of your cell phone and schedule the next meeting. Do not let the situation cool down. However, if you already know that there is no future here, do not stop at a second date. Do not give false expectations. Be a gentleman. If you feel that there is no chemistry for a love relationship, you could remain as friends. Who knows what the future holds? If friendship could evolve into something else. To learn more men dating tips, download my book free by clicking the book image on the right or the link in the description below, and please subscribe to this channel and share this video.